All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about a concept that I think is super important if you sell construction equipment online, and that is social proof, right? So when I say social proof, I'm talking about things like reviews, testimonials, things like that. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Reese. I founded Matchpoint Intelligence. It's a fully universal compatibility matching engine and analytics platform for any heavy machinery vehicle and any attachment that's on the market. Before I did that, I'd been in the heavy equipment industry for about half a decade. I had an e-commerce company where I sold over $7 million worth of heavy equipment, and that e-commerce company grew by over 100% every single year that it was open. So I've done this for a while. I've seen this stuff work, and I'm speaking to you from a position of telling you that, trust me, I promise you this will skyrocket the retention rate and the sales that you get from new customers in your e-commerce company. So let's talk about social proof. The biggest concept to dig into here is that when someone is searching online, they have an innate barrier of distrust, right? They're coming from a position of skepticism. They don't trust your website offhand. They're trying to figure out when they're figuring out if the product's even going to work or not. They're trying to figure out if they're going to get scammed because there's so many stories of people getting poor quality equipment, getting left in the dust, spending thousands of dollars on equipment just blind is a very difficult thing for people to do. It's not like you're just buying a pair of like kitchen tongs or something like that. Like this is expensive stuff. And so they have a very high barrier of distrust that you have to overcome. And the best way to overcome this is just with tons and tons and tons of social proof. So there, if you're on Shopify, for example, or most e-commerce platforms can do this, I highly advise you to have on your homepage a gallery wall of testimonials and proof, right? So you want to have all of these different like testimonials just like layered in there, just pages and pages and pages of it, just so that it's overwhelming with customers like how good your service is. And by the way, the best way to do this is to just have good service. Another component of the barrier of distrust here is that there's a lot of fake reviews online, and people know this. This isn't like new information. It's not like they're going to look at you and be like, oh, this company probably doesn't do fake reviews. They're going to do the opposite. They're going to say, this company probably does do fake reviews. How can I guarantee that these are real? So that barrier of distrust with the way that the internet is today is just getting higher and higher and higher. So the way that you get around that is you want to incentivize video or photos in your reviews and testimonials. Now, there are apps, there's processes and stuff you can do this, but the best way to do this is to offer them a discount on their next purchase if they provide a video or a photo in their review, right? We ended up doing like a 10% discount, which is pretty high in the heavy equipment industry, but it's so incredibly worth it because the amount of new customers that this wins over, and then the amount of customers that this gets to come back because they trust you and things like this is immense, right? It's the kind of thing that will make a difference between someone looking at your website and someone looking at another website who doesn't have this. They're going to be like, I'm going to trust this website, even if there may be some components of this website that are a little unpolished, or if maybe it's more expensive or things like that. When you're spending this much money on equipment, they need to be taken care of, and the money after they've kind of accepted the cost, they're looking to cover their bases and make sure that they're going to be okay if they purchase with you, that they're not going to get scammed, that if they need support they're going to be able to get it, that they're if they have to return something it's able to do so, that the purchase process is easy, that they're going to get help if they have questions, all of these things. And the best way to do this is to have a really strong service component of your business where you genuinely try and help these customers and you do so very quickly. So if you can do that, customers will be more than happy to leave a review because it's going to be a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of other companies out there. And when they do leave reviews, you want them to leave photos, you want them to leave videos because those are incredibly difficult to fake. Um, I think a lot of companies, if they try and fake reviews, which I don't advise you doing because it just like kneecaps you. Like the ability to get good reviews at a company is a skill set, and it's one that you need to develop if you're going to be successful in business. So if you're shortcutting that and you're just going to make fake reviews and stuff like that, first of all, the fake ones look obviously fake. It's too glowing and it's too like there's not enough detail in them usually. You can usually tell it's this very generic fake review that is put in. And especially if there's no photos or videos, people are just going to think that. If you just have a bunch of five-star reviews, be like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like people are going to be like, that's my bullshit meter's going off, right? So what you want to do is incentivize photos and videos with a discount. Send these to customers like 2 weeks after they purchase. So, or 2 weeks after it gets delivered. Sorry. So they purchase. It gets fulfilled, it gets delivered, and then 2 weeks after it gets delivered, let them use the product and say, "Hey, by the way, if you like the product, would you consider leaving us a review? If you leave us a photo or a video review, we'll give you a 10% discount coupon for your next purchase off your entire order." You can either do that manually with email, or there's apps that will set this up for you to do it automatically. Highly advise you use an app to do that if you're on Shopify. Um, but it goes so far. And if you have a gallery page of your testimonials on your homepage, and then a separate page for just reviews, and then on your product pages as well, when they click the stars and stuff like that, it pans down and shows the reviews as well, and they see real people taking real photos. This is something that will absolutely win a customer over to be like, all right, this is real. This is a real company. This is real equipment, and it will do the job that I need it to do because these people have bought it and experienced it and shown me that it will. It's incredibly important to do this. I highly advise that you guys put some real time and effort into making sure that you get a ton of reviews. And then once you do, put them everywhere. It's so, so, so important to cover that barrier of distrust.